Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya, and that is Maxie. She'll be joining me in today's video. Today's video is going to be kind of like the things that I either never purchased or never wanted to, needed to, or things that I did purchase and either regretted it or we never used it with our children. Are you okay? So our first product that we got, we actually received it as a gift for our first son, and I used it one time and I realized like it's just a hassle. I did not want to deal with it. Was a wipe warmer, and that is because one, me as a first-time mom, even with my second child, I don't have time to remember to make sure that there's water in it, to warm it up, or to put the wipes in there. It's just easier to just take the wipes out of their container they're in, wipe them, and be done. The second thing, kind of along with that same, like in the warming section, I would say is a bottle warmer. I never have used a bottle warmer. I never thought that there was like a reason to. A lot of people, you know, you can say like anything that how you feel about it, but I just put my son's bottles in the microwave, not for very long. It works out fine for us. There's really no point in just buying a warmer when the microwave works fine. And when I was breastfeeding, I would just take them out of the refrigerator and put them in either like a cup or a bowl of warm water and wait for them to warm up. Next, for us would be, we've never used a CoSleeper, and we did buy a bassinet for our second child. For my oldest son, we bought a pack and play with the bassinet in it. So much better than just a bedside bassinet. One, my son is 4 months old and outgrew the bedside bassinet when he was like 2 months old because they're like very enclosed. So if you do end up getting like something for your kids to sleep in your bedroom, like a bassinet, I would recommend getting just a pack and play with the bassinet in it so that there's more room and you can use it more often. My son actually still uses his when he's at my mother-in-law's house. But a CoSleeper, we never used a CoSleeper. Actually, my youngest son never slept with us. He never wanted to. My oldest son did sleep with us until he was about 4 or 5 months old. The next thing would be the swaddle me's or any kind of like, anything like that at all that kind of like constricts the baby. I don't know if this just did not work for my kids. My kids pretty much did not like to be like stuck together. They just wanted their arms free. And actually my oldest son, every time we tried to swaddle him at all, he would somehow get his arms out. So they just never really worked for us. And my youngest son, he would just scream in him. He did not want his hands or his arms like stuck. He wanted to be able to move his arms around. So I have one, and then we did try to swaddle them when they were babies, but it just never worked out for us. So we didn't use those. The next thing that I would say that I don't like to use personally, it's Bibs. I understand like if you're eating or like if you're feeding your kid or if they're like teething and they're drooling a lot. For me, it's just easier to get my kids naked and let them eat that way. It's easier just to clean them off, because I have found with my oldest, when he first started eating and my 4-month-old is now starting to eat solids, they just grab it and they just smear it all over themselves anyways. So to me, we never use them. And if they slobber, I just wipe their face off, and if their shirt gets too wet, then I just change their clothes. The Bibs just don't work for me. I'm just not a fan of them. Next, I would say is baby towels. Now, I have bought them, we have used them with both of our kids, and they're perfectly fine. But to me, I see them now as a waste of money, because you can just use a regular towel. And the reason I say that is because my son is 4 months old now, and he's too big to use a baby towel. So I feel like it's just cheaper in the long run if you just use your regular towels that you have, because they're only going to use them for a little bit. Once they outgrow them, there's like no point to them. Now, baby washcloths are a different story. My son is 2 and we still use them on him. We prefer them over like regular washcloths to wash them. They just kind of like keep the soap in them like more, so I don't have to use as much soap compared to like a regular washcloth. Next thing I would say is baby laundry detergent. I've personally never bought baby laundry detergent. We did receive them, like a little pack of them, and my son's, I got like a bump box, that's what they're called, a bump box, with my oldest son when I was pregnant with him, and we did get like a little sample pack of them that came with like 10 of them in there, and I did use those until they were gone. But for us, it's just a whole lot easier for me just to wash them. I know they say like use the fragrance free whatever. I've always used the same detergent with both my kids, so I haven't had any issues with it, so I don't see a point in buying an extra detergent that's fairly expensive for a baby detergent than just to wash what we already have. Next thing that I would say is the baby Brezza or Breeza, or however you say it. I personally have never had one. My soon-to-be sister-in-law, I got one for her from somebody on Facebook Marketplace that was getting rid of one, so I didn't pay any money for it, but she used it for like maybe like a few weeks until like we realized that for me it's just easier if I just make the bottles, and it takes me probably just the same amount of time to make it than for the machine to make it. So next thing that we did have with my oldest but we did not have with my youngest is like a baby bath seat. Now we do use baby bathtubs, just easier for us that way. I don't have any issues with it. Everybody says like it's just like no point in it. I see a point in the bathtub. I don't see a point in the bath seat. It didn't work with my oldest son. I'm pretty sure that we used it like 3 times before we were like, this is not it, like this is not working for us. So we had to go buy a bathtub, and it works fine, so that's what we use. So the next thing that I would say that I never use, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it, when you give birth now, a lot of the doctors, nurses, they really push for these types of things, are like the tracking apps, like the feed tracking apps, the sleep tracking apps. To me, I never used them. I never really kept track of anything except for the time that my kid ate. Both of them actually, because we kind of just go like, as the baby needs it, that's what they get. So if he needs to take a nap, he's gonna take a nap. If he needs to eat, he's gonna eat. I do understand certain points, like if your kid has like a health issue or is like a preemie and they need to get to like a certain weight, then those type of things, like yes, you would track them just to make sure. For me, I'll just write it down though. But I never used any of those. It was just kind of like as my kids needed it, that's what they got. And the last thing that I actually had 2 of them. One of them we just actually got rid of. I still have one. I'm probably not going to use it. Is a Diaper Genie. I got one with my oldest son, and we did use it. We used it a lot actually with him. But of course, the older he gets, he doesn't need it. And then now that my son, my 4-month-old is 4 months old, we have not touched it, used it, or anything. It's really just easier just to put them in like a Walmart bag and throw them outside in the outside trash can. So much easier than have to worry about another trash can to empty or to keep track of. That's pretty much the top 10 things that just did not work for my family, my kids, myself, my husband, that a lot of people rave about and use and like recommend all the time. To me, it's either just a waste of money or there are other solutions that you can use instead of those. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.